Welcome to the podcast of the Center of Translational Medicine of the Semmelweis University. My guest is Cindy, but this is not your real name. This is only a nickname because your real name is too complicated for me to pronounce it. So may I ask you to pronounce it correctly?
Of course. Well, thank you for having me. My full name is Cindy Qian, but for the easiness, I go by Cindy. I know my friends here know me as Cindy.
Okay, yeah. I know that this is quite usual for Chinese people to have an English nickname because it's easier for the outside world to pronounce it. As far as I know, you are a dentist. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. I finished here at the Semmelweis University.
And what was your goal when you started the university? Did you want to become a dentist who is practicing dentistry? Or did you want to become a researcher? What was your original intention?
When I started at dentistry, my goal was to become a dentist and then start my own private practice sometime. But then when I had to choose my specialty, I really liked this department where I'm at, the Department of Prosthodontics. And I started to become a TDK student. And that's when I started liking this research area as well.
Okay. And what was your reason to become a dentist? Are there any dentists in your family?
No, there are no one who's in this house specialty, and I'm the first one to become a dentist. I always liked how the human body was working. I watched a lot of documentaries. I thought about becoming a vet as well, but I thought communicating with humans is much more easier. So I chose a dental specialty.
So maybe your favorite subject was biology, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what was the trigger that changed your mind to deal with science?
Honestly, it has always been on my mind. When I was a child, I thought I would become a scientist, but that time I imagined myself working in a laboratory. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, I thought maybe I would become a vet, as I've mentioned. And that was a mind switch from the science area to the doctor area. And afterwards, I also had braces for dental correction. And maybe that was the point when I decided to become a dentist. But honestly, I cannot tell you an exact moment when that choice happened.
Okay. But after finishing the university, how did you find the Center of Translational Medicine?
It was before I finished university. I have already decided I wanted to continue my career here at the university if they accept me. And as far as I know, having a PhD and a scientific title is very important, and doing research if I want to stay here. And that's maybe I was in fourth year when we've had some webinars about the translational medicine. And the reason why it attracted me was that it allowed us to do our residency and the PhD program simultaneously, which would save a lot of years.
Yeah, I think it's a major advantage. I can agree with you. What do you think? Why is this program different from other PhD programs? What is your impression?
Before I knew about this program, my major concern about doing the PhD was whether I would have enough support and time to do my PhD, because I have heard that researchers have a hard time, besides work, to find time to actually work with their PhD. and here at the Translational Medicine, where they in a very close connection and cooperation with the clinics of the university, and they allow us in the first year to have 4 days of protected time to dedicate on PhD research.
And is it enough, or was it enough in the first year? What do you think?
Well, we also have to dedicate a lot of our own free time, but I think it's just the price we have to pay if we want to have this PhD.
Yeah, I can agree. And what was your first project you started here?
As far as I know, our first projects are meta-analysis, and my first meta-analysis is about investigating the effects of different dental implant placement and loading protocols regarding their effect on hard tissue and soft tissue and aesthetics as well.
Since this whole center is about translational medicine, it is very important to have in mind how can the result of a project be translated into practice or to basic science. So regarding your project, what could be the way of translation to practice?
Well, we are mainly investigating these implants in the upper aesthetic area, and there are different timings how this implantation can happen. And of course, the patients would prefer it to happen as soon as possible. And we would like to know whether this sooner treatment actually results in better outcomes. And if so, then we can safely recommend it to our patients.
Okay, so this has a real practical value.
Yes.
And could you give us an insight how the whole procedure of preparing meta-analysis goes? So how did you start? What were the major points that you have to perform? So what is the procedure?
Well, lots of consultations with my supervisor and our scientific methodology supervisor that we call an SMS, and the group meetings. And the beginning is actually the hardest when we have to decide on a feasible topic. And we have to do extensive literature searches and find articles, publications of previous clinical trials that we may be able to use in our meta-analysis, and then consult with a statistician as well. And after deciding on the topic, the following steps are actually easier because we actually have an e-learning material that guides us through the steps of the meta-analysis step by step, and we just have to follow that afterwards.
And the Center of Translational Medicine follows the learning by doing method. So this is a key issue. What does it mean for you?
Well, for me, it actually means that I have, I wouldn't say master, but I have learned the techniques of doing the meta-analysis during the process of doing my first meta-analysis. So I have some questions, and then I get answers for these questions, and then I would learn how next time I would be able to treat such issues if I'm writing another meta-analysis.
And did your attitude towards medicine change after doing or performing this meta-analysis? So did you think a bit differently about how you work as a dentist after doing the meta-analysis?
Well, I certainly have more insight now in this certain specific area, and And previously, my knowledge on patient treatment was only based on what I was taught in school and what I experienced chairside. And now I feel like reading more scientific material would actually also help my practice.
Yeah, maybe this evidence-based approach is a quite big issue here. And is the reality different from what you expected when you have chosen the Translational Medicine Center? So did you get the same what you expected here?
Honestly, I think I actually got a little bit more, because it's very often that something is promised, but it does not happen. But fortunately here, of course, they promised support. I was afraid we wouldn't get that much support, but the truth is we get much more support than we did. If we needed anything, we could write to our supervisor, SMS, and statisticians anytime, and they would be present and ready to help.
What is your biggest challenge during the work, the research work?
I actually had my first major setback just about a month ago when we did our analysis. We were doing a network meta-analysis, and after having the results, we realized that some of the articles we have included were majorly biased, and there were some severe protocol deviations that resulted in the articles to have to be excluded. And I have to do another search in other Chinese databases that we previously did not include. So basically, we were set back to the beginning of the whole project. But eventually, it turned out good because I found many good quality articles that we could include. So the problem is being solved right now. So I think it was scary in the beginning, but it was solved.
Yeah, I think it's typical. So science is a bit different from what you see on TV. So it's not only about success. Of course, the final goal is the success, but you have to work hard and you have also be lucky in some cases. But maybe in this case, it was a lucky thing that you had to do the analysis again, because maybe this is a much better article that you prepared.
Yes, everyone was really supportive. My supervisor kept telling me that this happens, it's okay, we will solve it, and that's good in everything bad. And the statisticians also said that this will only increase the quality of our work, so don't worry. Everything was, they were so supportive, so it really calmed me.
And do you like the team that you are working in and the whole center? Do you think that this is a bit more than a bunch of people who are doing research?
Yes, because they are really dedicated. And I like that. I think when you have set a goal for yourself, then this is how you can progress, and everyone have the same goal here. So I think that brings the team together a lot.
Yeah, and there are some social events that also help you to get together with the others. Do you participate in some of these events?
I took part in the beginning in some of the events, but afterwards I found that I may not have that much time. I'd rather sleep at home.
Okay. you need some help.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah, okay. Do you like working in a team? Are you a team worker?
I wouldn't say I'm a team worker because sometimes I just like to stay alone than just stay in my own world. But it helps. It actually helps. So it changed my perspective in about teamwork, because if different people come together and they have different experiences, then their view on the same subject will be different, and they complement each other. So I think it's really helpful.
And what about time management? Did you improve your time management since starting your work, or?
I think I was forced to improve my time management, and I have been really bad at it. Under 5 years of university, I still couldn't manage my time properly. But after starting here, I felt like I have to find some way to manage my work, my research, and my own personal time somehow. And I found some wasted times, and I managed to put them into good use. So I think it definitely improved my time management.
Okay, and how do you imagine your future? Maybe what do you expect to do 5 years later? So what is your vision of your future?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, 5 years later, I would already have my specialty exam, and if everything goes well, my PhD as well. And I would consider starting a family.
Okay, so I wish you success for everything.
Thank you
also
very much.
For your private life and also for your career. I think you are at a good place to be successful and to be happy. Thank you for thank you for accepting our invitations.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for your answers. Thank you.